All right. All right, guys. So we're gonna jump right into it. Rob and I, we are going to be doing first of all, we're gonna do some role playing today. So even if you're not on camera, you can still talk back to us because we're gonna try to help you guys with some objection handling. That's sort of the main piece that I want to make sure that we go over. And then Rob's gonna have some as well. But the objection handling is really gonna give you guys real reps, right? You have to sort of understand that, hey, like, yes, we're watching, but the objection handling really helps much more than you think. In the beginning, it feels kind of silly when you do it. You're like, well, this isn't real, but you'll be surprised how the more that you sort of role play, the exact same things start happening when you're in real no sweat intros. And you're like, oh, we just did this. And then you know exactly how to respond and all of that stuff. So that's going to be the big piece that I want to cover. I want to make sure that we get into. Uh, we'll probably save that sort of towards the end, just so we can get some feedback. And then Rob, what else are we going to cover?
I really want to just cover urgency. I think that that's probably the biggest thing is like the urgency. And, the thing that I'm constantly preaching to you guys is like that urgency is not salesy, used car salesy, it's coaching. And we've got to coach people to take action on the things that they want in life. And that's what we do, not just in the sales process, but it's the thing that we do when we're coaching in our gyms, right? What brought us all together and unified us in this movement is that we love to coach and get people wins, but we can't coach and get people wins if we don't coach them to take action on that very first step, which is opting in to do something about it and just putting redirecting our mindset from I don't want to be a used car salesperson to no, I'm going to coach and fight for this person to start and take action, just as I'm going to fight and coach for this person to get deeper on a squat or to clean 5 more pounds. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something that I'd like to go over today as well. And of course, as always, guys, our questions are open. So if there's anything specific that you'd like us to go over today, if you have questions while one of us is talking, the other one will kind of monitor that channel and do our best to jump in and answer.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, Rob, let's sort of jump into it. I'll let you start. Let's start going over some of the urgency stuff because I do believe that is that's a big piece of it because that sort of turns into, you know, some objections that we may hear and all of that stuff. So let's start with that, Rob. I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Katie, I'm going to put you on spot first. So go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm going to talk to you first, Katie. So, Katie, when you think of a salesperson, what comes to your mind immediately?
Pushy,
Mm-hmm.
demanding,
Mm-hmm.
pressure.
Yeah, right. It's and do you associate those feelings positively or negatively?
Negatively.
Absolutely, right. Hey, you know what? Might as well, Tom, since you've got the great hair today, Tom. When you think so, take those feelings aside. When you think of a salesperson, what do you think of?
Um, yeah, I mean, some of those similar adjectives would fit based on my experience with some salespeople.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Do you associate them with a specific industry?
Um, um, I guess what brought me to you guys, gym marketing.
Yeah, absolutely, right. Gym marketing, right? That could be perceived that way too, right? Amy, do you have any specifics when I say salesperson? What do you think of? What comes to your mind?
I think of my last interaction with a car salesperson and it was not good.
Yeah,
Me too. I'm shopping for a
we
car now. I'm shopping for a car now, and yeah, yes.
right. To be honest, right? Like I want you guys to listen and people who will watch this recording later, I hope you're doing this practice in your own head, right? Because when you think of sales, nobody has said anything that we would consider a positive thought, feeling, or emotion, right? There's such a negative connotation on the word sales. And to be honest with you guys, when I think sales, I think of used cars salesperson. I think of insurance sales, right? I think of, those bada bing, bada boom guys, the ones that used to joke, if they shake your hands, you got to count and make sure you got all 5 fingers back, right? There's a very negative connotation associated to it. But what I like to do is I like to put a positive spin on sales, especially when it comes to the micro gym space, because at the end of the day, right, what separates us from those negative feelings and connotations is the product that we're selling actually works, right? And don't we all believe, and hopefully you do, if you answer no to this question, you're in the wrong business, right? Everybody on this call should believe in their heart of hearts that definitively, if somebody opts into your program and says to you, I'm going to join, I'm all in, I'm coming, Mimi, take me through the process. And they come and join your gym and they come 3 to 4 times a week consistently for 90, 120 days. Don't you believe in your heart of hearts that you're going to get them a result? Of course,
Absolutely.
right? Of course you do. So we're not selling something that people don't need, don't want, and we're not selling them a used car. We're not selling a lemon. We're not asking them to pay an exorbitant amount for something and giving them nothing. We're not selling snake oil. But what often and why we need urgency, how I'm going to tie all this in together, is that what we are selling, though, is not instant gratification. We're selling hard work and sacrifice, right? And we're selling, yes, a dream, but that dream comes with work and dedication and consistency, right? Sales, they always say, is pain, right? What's your pain point? We talk about this when we talk about no sweat intros. We're trying to dig. Why are you here? What is your real pain? What brought you in today? Okay. Sales is pain. But let's take this to a really simple thing, right? So Amy, if say you have the pain of my TV just broke, right? Say your TV breaks, right? You can go down to Best Buy. Back in the day, they had sales. Now Best Buy is pretty much just a tap and go kiosk. It's just a big giant kiosk store. But back in the day, you could go and talk to a TV salesperson and they'll take you through all the different televisions that they have. And it might be a little more than you wanted to spend, but guess what? You're going to leave instantly with that television, pain solved, problem solved. It's an instant gratification sale, right? Same with a car. I need a car. I go buy a car. I walk home with said car. It's instant gratification. What we sell is the idea of a thought of success that's going to come down the road, and you're required to put in hard work in order to get there. So it's not an easy sale. It's a very tricky sale. And it very much relies on exposing those pain points, painting a picture of success, and then creating that opt-in and that feeling of, hey, Mimi's going to help me. I believe in her. And if I just listen to Mimi and trust the process, I'm going to get there. So when we talk about coaching and creating urgency, right? So reset your mindset. Being pushy in this space is not sales, it's coaching. And I always ask you guys to tap into that same energy that you do when you're coaching an athlete in your gym. I always like to think about the most difficult lift that you could possibly coach, and that's the snatch, right? Whether you're a CrossFit gym or a functional fitness gym or anybody in this space, everybody has done a snatch and definitely has tried to coach a snatch, right? And when you think about coaching an athlete comes in and they're, you're doing a snatch progression that day, and somebody grabs a pipe instead of a barbell, or somebody goes and grabs dumbbells and says, I'm not going to do barbell snatches today. I'm going to go just grab the dumbbells, right? As a coach, if you're a good coach, you're not going to say, okay, you're going to lean into it. Why? Help me understand why. Why don't you want to grab the bar today and work on your snatch? What is holding you back today from progressing and overcoming this challenge, right? And you listen, right? Sometimes it's, hey, I don't feel comfortable with the barbell. Cool. What about the barbell makes you uncomfortable? Well, I just don't know what I'm doing. Great. I can fix that. Give me 5 minutes and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to know. Hey guys, you got this? Cool. I'll put an assistant coach on it. Hey, we're going to go over here for 10 minutes and we're going to make you feel comfortable with the barbell. And guess what happens? You get that person to feel comfortable. By the end of the session, maybe they don't add any weight, but at least they walk out and they feel like they did something. They moved towards their goal. They progressed. And what happens? You get a high five, maybe you get a hug, somebody comes up to you and says, thank you. And then 3 months from now, that person's like, comes up to you and they're like, hey, so the Open's coming up. What do I need to do to qualify? Right. And you're like, what? You wouldn't even touch a barbell 3 months ago. And now you want to qualify for oh, come on. But these are the success stories, right? And these are the things that I always keep in my mind when somebody gives me pushback on wanting to join the gym or one is like afraid. So I try to tap into that inner coach. And instead of being pushy, I feel like, hey, I'm just going to ask questions, keep asking questions and trying to create a challenge to make this person take action on one thing today that they told me they want. Now I'm not selling you anything. I am simply giving you the ability. I'm creating the situation to get you the result that you've asked for. And I'm challenging you as a coach to take that first step and giving you the safety to say, hey, I'm here to catch you, but I've got you. Right. And so that's why urgency is really, really important. We always talk about don't let them walk, because what happens when people walk away and they want to think about it, or what they're going to think about is they're not going to think about reasons why they should join your gym. They're not going to think about all of these wonderful things that could happen to them. What natural human emotion does is they're going to go home and think about all the reasons why they can't. Right. Dude, I saw those people in there with that barbell. There's no way. Chad's here. I saw shirtless Chad hand walking through the gym with his 12-pack abs. There's no way that I can do that. I can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the resources. I don't have them. They're not thinking about the reasons they should. They're thinking about all the reasons they should. And they talk themselves right out of it. And they're going to ghost you when you text them tomorrow and be like, so what'd you think? Crickets. They think they can't do it and they're scared and they're not ready to do it. So let's redirect our energy, right? Let's be willing to ask questions when we're faced with a no sweat intro and we're faced with pushback and objections. Let's not look at trying to overcome that as being a pushy car salesperson. Let's try to overcome that from coming from the space of, hey, I believe that I can help this person. Let me put my coach's hat on and let me see if I can coach this person through whatever's holding them back. And that's really what overcoming objections is. It's coaching. Let's ask the right questions. Let's determine what's holding you back. And let's see if we can talk you through that to get you to a place where you can finally take action on a life-changing experience that could hopefully change the rest of your life and your family's life. Because not only are you going to be a better human being, but when you're a better human being, that affects everybody around you, right? So urgency is key. Being willing to dig in and fight for people and coach them through their issues is not sales, it's coaching. And if we can be collectively as a micro gym space, if we can collectively be willing to coach more people before they're our gym members and coach them to become our gym members, we're going to grow exponentially. And it's going to be great, right? Doesn't that feel better just to think about it like that, to come from that space and that mindset? Because we all can think about that and we can all get there. We're all coaches at heart. So to say, I'm not good at sales, or I feel uncomfortable overcoming an objection, but you do this all the time as a coach. You just have to think about, it's not sales, it's coaching. That's my thing about urgency today. What do you think?
Rob, I would love to hear how you start the conversation at the point where someone says, I need to think about it.
Yeah, I love that. You want to know? So Rob, the coach, I'm intense. You know this, right? You should see me coach a class. I am loud. I'm in your face. I'm jumping on top of plyo boxes, dancing to music. Like, no, when somebody says to me, I need to think about it, my response is, cool. What do you need to think about? Yeah. What do you need to think about? What is there to think about? And if I get the, I'm going to just go through it with them. Hey, look. Hey, Amy, look. We started this whole process 2 days ago, right? You messaged me about my 12-week transformation program. We got on a phone call. We talked 10 minutes about what's been going on with you. You drove all the way down here today in traffic. We sat here for the last 30 minutes. We went over all this stuff. You told me that this is something you've been thinking about for the last 4 or 5 years. You've been struggling to make a change. You've tried this, that, and the other thing, and it hasn't worked for you. We got on the InBody. You said that you're a lot further down the road than you really thought you were, and that was disappointing to you. I've offered you an opportunity here today to start taking action on that. What do you have to think about? What are you waiting for? Or what can I do to help you take action on this today? Go ahead, respond. Go ahead. Let's role play it. Go ahead. What's holding you?
I'm just really uncomfortable with spending that much money on myself.
You know what? I understand that, Amy, and I know that it can be selfish and you could feel like that's being selfish. Let me give you a quick story. 15 years ago, so actually it was longer than that. Now I'm a little older than I was. And 20 years ago, after I got out of the military, I was in a place where I had, not taken care of myself. I put everybody in my life's needs ahead of my own, my wife, my child, my family. And I was in a place where I thought, how dare I take time and money away from my household to focus on myself? That's so selfish. But Amy, focusing on your health and fitness and prioritizing that, it's not selfish, Amy. It's actually selfless, because you know what your family wants more than a couple of extra dollars and an hour's worth of your time? They would like a lot longer with you. And if you join the gym today and start working towards bettering yourself and your health and fitness, not only is your family going to get more time with you, but they're going to get better time with you, because you're going to be happier. You're going to have more energy, like you've asked, that you said that you wanted. You're going to feel better. It's going to make you better wife and a mother, and everybody around you is just going to benefit from it. So instead of thinking about the money that you're spending on yourself, think about it as an investment into your family and into your family's future time with you. What do you
I mean,
say?
I'm sold, but
Yeah, I've already signed you up. You're gonna get a receipt right now. It's in your Amazon box right now. You just signed up for All Fit. But yeah, you always just got. Yeah, go ahead, Mimi. What you got?
I think that, when you're talking all about that, if you have the money, it all sounds great and you're right on it. I have had a handful of people of like, this is way beyond my budget. And that's where they're like, I can't, I just had a no sweat intro. Actually, I never had it. So she had scheduled and then canceled because of something else, and then rescheduled. And then she messaged back saying, I just don't think I can, afford this. It's not within my budget. So then they give us, the money of, I don't think she gave me a number of how much she could spend, but it wasn't a lot.
Yeah,
So
you were way
that's the
away from
issue.
it. Sure, right. And let me make you feel a little bit better about this, Mimi. Right. I have a saying. Those of you that I work with one-on-one, you've heard it before. It's my little math problem. It's SW to the third power plus N equals sales. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. But I relate this as well to the affordability, right? There are going to be people who can absolutely 100% afford your services no matter what. In fact, I like to tell the story about the guy who walked into my gym once, and he walked in with his credit card like this. This is how he came in. I never met the guy before in my life. He walks in with his credit card like that. And I said, can I help you? He's like, yeah, sign me up. I was like, you don't want to try a class first? He's like, no. I said, do you want me to go over the membership? He's like, no, just sign me up. For what? He's like, give me your top thing. Okay. Weird guy, love him to death. It's one of my best friends now. But you're going to have people like that, right? There's their laydowns. And then you're going to have people who absolutely cannot and will never be able to afford your gym, right? What separates the best gyms are the gyms that take everybody else, that 70%, they live in that, I could, if I saw the value and can connect it to being able to solve my problems, right? I could get there. So it's sometimes, and that goes back to the discussion as well of, do we give price when people ask for price? Why do we not give price? Well, we don't give price because we're not trying to be sneaky car salesmen. We don't give price because people don't understand the value of what it is that we're providing. So if you're comparing price to what you hear and see every day, which is the YMCA, Planet Fitness, Crunch Fitness, right? $19, $29, $39 a month, and your group classes are included, they think that that's what we do. And that's where we should be priced. They don't understand what directed, coached with accountability and support and community. They don't understand the difference between that. So when you throw pricing out, they're comparing apples to oranges, but they think they're comparing apples to apples. So price is always an issue. So same thing coming back to your example, right? Sometimes it's tough. You have to determine to yourself, is this person a some will? Is this person a some won't? Or is this person somebody who lives in the middle that we need to just kind of dig in more and work? And you know what? If the lady said to you, if she was so far away, I mean, it's basically it's a personal feeling and a thought. Do I say to myself, hey, if this lady's saying 29 and I'm selling memberships for 219, right? Is it worth bringing her in for 30 minutes to show her the value of what $200 looks like and see if she can make that jump? Or do I, so what, next her? Right? I know that doesn't like directly answer your question, but I think that in this space, when you're doing paid ads, and we always have to remember too that when we're running paid ads, that we're reaching people who never heard of us, never thought of us, don't spin an atmosphere, and even sometimes not even seeking us or fitness out. They saw an ad, they had an emotional response, they clicked it, because who doesn't want to be fit, right? If we had the definitive magic pill that made everybody in the world fit, do you think that there would be any unfit people in the world? No, everybody would take the magic pill, right? We would all take it. So I think that it's always important to remember that, and to remember that the people that are coming to us, what they hear and see the most is what's on television, right? What do you see on television the most? Planet Fitness, Crunch Fitness, Anytime Fitness, Lifetime Fitness. And those are $19, $29, $39 a month. So it's hard to provide, it's hard to show value of what it is that we do unless we're able to physically bring that person in. So ultimately, when I have folks like that, I make the determination. Do I have the 30 minutes today that I want to indulge this person and see if I can get there? Or am I too busy? And maybe this person is just a next and be like, hey, you know what, thanks so much. And I put them in a long-term lead nurture. Hey, if your situation ever changes, let us know. I know what Sherman would do. Somebody says $29 to Sherman, be like, all right, see you later. Sherman's going to next him right away, aren't you, Sherman? He's going next right away.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is that helpful in some terms, Mimi?
Yes. Yeah. I think that, you know, I always felt like you had to try to get them to do something, even if they only had the $29, you know, which actually at our gym wouldn't get them anything. So they'd have to at least go up a little bit. But, you know, there was, you know, if you're trying to follow kind of a metric of, you know, being on the sales team and kind of getting your numbers to where you want to be, you don't want to let those people go without giving it all the effort, everything that you can throw at them. So I think knowing that, okay, if the 29 is all they can do, absolutely, then you just kind of be like, okay.
That's it. That's it, 100%. But I agree with what you just said, though. And I think everybody on this call could benefit from that. And it's how I personally feel. Yes, I want to make money. I want to profit. I want to have a great business. But I got into this business as well because I genuinely love helping people and I love to coach. And so for me, I'm going to fight like hell for you if you get on a phone with me or if you get in front of me. I'm going to fight like hell. And no matter what happens at the end, I'm going to walk away from that interaction knowing that I did everything that I can to help that person. But at the end of the day, it is ultimately up to them to opt in and take that chance. And if they can't afford it, well, they can't afford it. Because remember, competing on price is a race to the bottom. And that's not where you want to be as a business. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So Rob, one thing I'll just add to that, and maybe you don't agree, I don't know, like the people who really can't afford it, like 29 bucks is all they can afford, I'll write down the name of a couple of the gyms that they can afford and let them know, like, I want to help them still. I don't want to just like send them out.
100%. I agree with you 100% on that. I feel very strongly about that. I actually tell people in my text messaging interaction, you ever get people who are like, I don't know, they want to come in, but they don't want to be sold, right? They don't want the car salesman. And so they're a little shy and they're like, oh, what's going to happen? Why do you want to talk to me? Can you just tell me the pricing? You know, and I'm like, and I just say, look, here's what we're going to do. My process is really simple. Come on down, spend 15, 20 minutes with me. I want to ask you a couple of questions, get to know you, some little background. I'm going to do a quick assessment. And based on what you tell me and what I see, I'm going to take my 16 years of experience and put together a couple of options that I think will help you out. If I think I can help you out. And if they don't work for you, or I don't think that I can help you, the least I will do for coming in and spending time with me is I'll refer you to 2 or 3 places that could help you, because I've been here long enough that I know everybody around town. and I'll be happy to help you. And usually people hear that and they're like, okay, no problem. I'll come on in. And a little secret I'll tell you, I have a trainer that used to work for me that I don't like. And when I get a real crazy person, somebody looking for a cheap discount trainer, that's exactly where I send them. I go, bye-bye. Here, this guy, you're going to love him. And I chuckle secretly behind my back, hoping that that person does text them. So yeah, I love it. I agree. Yes, be a resource in your community, right? The best thing that we can do in the micro gym space is to be a resource. Things that I've been talking to a lot of our clients about, especially this week. July is we can all agree, right? It's a slow month, right? It's slow. It's slower than normal to get people to come in and get people to converse with us. It's already hard enough to get people who aren't prioritizing their health and fitness, who think they're too busy to come in and talk to us, let alone add in Jimmy and Johnny are out of school and we've got our vacation to Disney coming up. And, so it's hard enough, right? This is the time of year where we can really lean into putting out more content organically and becoming more of a resource to our customers and our community, right? Give your best stuff away for free. Email that entire darn list. I got 6,000 leads thanks to Lasso in my CRM. I'll send out an email. Here's some free fitness tips. Here's a free deadlift. Say, fix your deadlift without hurting your back in 6 easy steps. Give your best stuff away for free. Trim and I were just talking about this the other day. Give your best stuff away for free, because what really makes the difference for folks, though, is the structure of your 4 walls and the coaching and the consistency and accountability you're going to give them. So use this as an opportunity to continue to be a resource. Send out free nutrition tips, send out workout, free workouts, steal this workout posts. Give people, hey, if somebody comes across you, here's a couple of things that places that I think could help you. And if your situation changes or it doesn't work out for you, please come back and see me again. That's happened to me before. I'm sure it's happened to you, Amy. I've had somebody come in, tell me, now I can't afford you. They went and did a cheaper solution. 9 months later, guess who was back tail tucked and hat in hand? Hey, you know what? You were right. That place didn't work. Here's my credit card. Sign me up. Yeah. Good stuff. Sherman.
Yeah, no, I think all that was, I think that's great. I believe that, that definitely leads us into sort of the next piece, right? Like the urgency is key, guys, because like I I used to always tell my coaches, so to get started at my gym, like the least someone's gonna get started, it was like $275 per month, right? That's the least they could get started. So I used to always joke with my coaches, if you let them leave every day that they don't come in, there's going to be 275 reasons why they should not come back. So you need to get them signed up that day, right? And again, like Rob was sort of iterating and pounding home, these people, they don't necessarily know what's best for them, right? They know that. My big thing is if someone books an appointment, drives across town, or drives through the woods if they live up there in New Hampshire, how are they going to get there? If they drive there and they arrive to you, sit down and talk with you, who 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you're a total stranger to them, and they're telling you personal stuff, especially women, about their weight and stuff they've tried, they have a problem that they really want solved, right? Now, there are some people that just can't afford what we do. That's fine. Most people can, though, right? Like most people can. So we have to get to that point to where when someone comes in, we are going to, what we like to say in sales is assume the sale. From the time they walk in, you're assuming the sale. There's no, do you want? Of course you want to, right? Like it's funny. I was just looking, like I told you, we've been looking for cars. So we went to a car dealership the other day, and I told the guy, like, I just love talking to other sales guys. Like, man, I'm not really sure I'm looking to buy today. He was like, that's funny, because I'm looking to sell you a car today. And I freaking love that because he's like, hey, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm trying to sell you a car
I'm gonna
today.
tell you what I'm trying to do right from the get. I like that.
Correct. And
Yeah.
the reason I laugh because I've used that so many times when someone comes in saying, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to sign up to that." I'm like, huh, that's funny because the only reason I'm here today is to sign you up, right? I have enough friends, right? I have enough members here. I'm trying to get you signed up today. So when they come in, I think that, one of the big things that we can do, Rob, is you or I will pick someone to let's just sort of jump through an intro, and we'll start at the point where we give them the price, because everything in every intro, everything is perfect. up until that point, right? Like they love you. You're the best thing ever. Like, I love this place. Yes, I want to get serious. Okay, here's the option that I have for you. It's $800 a month. How does that sound? Now we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Now it's gonna be either yes, I'm ready to get going, or insert their objection, right? So Rob, how about Rob? Let's have some fun. You and I will start off, right? But you have to send Amy privately if you're going to sign up or not, right? So before we get going,
Okay.
you have to sign, you have to send Amy if you're gonna sign up or not. And then I'm gonna try to sign you up, right? I'm gonna try to sign you up, and then we'll go from there.
I like this game.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
we'll sort of talk through it after we get, after we get finished. We'll sort of talk to it.
All right. All right, you ready, Amy? Here you go. Okay.
All right. So, okay, Rob. So, based off what you told me, I think I know exactly what you need, Rob, because obviously you have exquisite taste. We happen to have on the same shirts today, so I think we're brethren. Um, so I'm thinking that since you're trying to lose 20 pounds, you've tried a couple of things in the past, and now you're just looking to get locked in because you just want to be healthier for the kids and stuff like that. So I believe that you doing personal training, right, 3 times a week, plus customized nutrition would be the best thing for you, Rob, because that's going to sort of take out all of the guesswork. I know in the past you told me that you've been sort of unsuccessful with a couple of things, but this personal training plus customized nutrition, it basically takes out all of the guesswork. All you have to do is show up and we'll take care of the rest, right? So, does the personal training and nutrition sound like something you'll be interested in, Rob?
I mean, I definitely wasn't thinking about that before I came in, but I mean, the things that you talked about, it kind of makes sense. My biggest question is, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So what we're doing, as you came in off of you came in off the ad, we do a 12-week jump start, right? It's 12-week jump start, 3-month commitment. And the reason we do that 3 months, Rob, because it takes us that much time for you to see some real results, right? Like a month isn't going to do it. 2 months, now you're starting to get in a sweet spot. But 3 months, we can do a lot of work in 3 months. So it's a 3-month commitment. For the personal training plus customized nutrition, the price for that is $12.49 per month, Rob. And we can break that up into weekly payments if that works for you. Whatever. But that's what we have. So the price is $12.49 per month for the customized plan that I just laid out for you.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, dude, I definitely want to do it. That's definitely a lot more money than I was looking to spend. And to be honest, I got to talk to my wife about that first before. So I appreciate your time. I'm definitely gonna take this. Do you have something like some information you can write down, or you have a flyer or something I can take home, and I can talk to my wife about it, and I'll call you back tomorrow?
No, I don't, Rob. Rob, we just talked for 20 minutes. I don't have any more info to give you, right? But here's the thing. Tell me this. One, you said you're interested, so that's great.
Mhm.
Two, you sort of said, oh, like, I'm definitely interested, but I probably need to talk to my wife. Tell me this. And you said it's a little bit more money than you were planning. So tell me this, because I think this is the best plan for you. But how much were you planning on spending coming in here? Because I need to know that, because again, I don't want to continue recommending these awesome programs for you that are going to get you results, and you're thinking $19.99 per month. We definitely can't help you with anything like that. So how much were you thinking to spend?
No, I mean, I'm definitely, I definitely knew coming into this that it wasn't going to be a 19.99 a month type equation. But I mean, I was probably looking, to be honest with you, man, I was probably looking at more like the $150, $200 a month. Listening to you talk about like PT and nutrition, like I knew that would be a little bit more expensive, but like, 6, 7, $800 probably max. But I mean, anything over $1,000, I mean, it's gonna be tough to budget that in, and it's definitely something I need to talk to my wife about first, figure
Okay.
out how we can make that happen.
All right, perfect. All right, that's fine. So here's the thing. I believe that the 3 times a week, 1 hour personal training sessions plus customized nutrition is the best thing for you. That's a $12.49 per month.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. You haven't worked out in a while, bro. You haven't been working out in, 8, 12 months, you told me. So option number 2 is we can do 30-minute sessions 3 times a week, plus the customized nutrition. Everything's the same except your training sessions are going to be 30 minutes instead of 60 minutes. Now, the price for that is $8.49 per month, which is right in your price range. However, Rob, what I'm going to do, I'm going to step outside of the room. I'm going to let you call your wife so you guys can figure it out, because I want you to know I want you to do the best. I want you to do the $12.49. I think you're going to get the best results with that. But I want you to have a backup plan if she tells you, no, honey, you're not going to spend $12.49 because you've already told me that, $800 is right in that budget. So I know that one will work. But I'm going to step outside of the room and have you call your wife, and then you just simply peek your head out the door whenever you guys get finished talking. How does that sound?
Listen, man, you don't know my wife like I know my wife. And I'm going to tell you, this is not a phone conversation. I'd be honest with you. If I call her, she might not even answer my call. You're probably more likely to answer my call than my wife. I'm telling you, this is more of a face-to-face conversation, and maybe over a glass of wine, if you know what I mean, brother. You get or two before I got to thread that needle. But I mean, tell me more about like these 30 minutes. What do you think that I'll get? I mean, the price point it's definitely a little better. It's still going to be a real stretch for me, dude, to be honest with you. But like, do you think that I'll get the same benefits from 30 minutes as I would the hour? I mean,
Yeah. So here's the thing. The hour, like, it's a lot, right? Especially with you being sort of deconditioned and stuff like that. But I know with the hour over the course of the 3 months, after the first 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to be like, this hour is perfect, right? The first 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to be like, man, this is a lot. But the 30 minutes, when we start off the first 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to be like, this is perfect. But then the last 6 weeks or so, you're going to be like, oh, can we do a little bit more? But won't have that time. So I want you to start off with the 60 minutes because I just know that's where you're going to end up anyway. Now, we're still going to get great results with the 30 minutes. Even if you don't upgrade at the halfway mark, like I think you will, you're still going to get great results. I just like to recommend the best of the best because I don't want you to leave here not knowing exactly what's the best program for you, right? And I strongly believe the 60-minute sessions are the way to go. But the 30-minute sessions are an option.
So I'm not locked in, is what you're saying. So I could start with the 30s and then kind of.
Correct. Rob, I always like to joke. I will always take more money from you, but I'm not giving any money back to you. So that's not a problem at all.
That's fair. That's fair. And you said you could kind of break that down into a smaller payment. So maybe I could do a little less today and then kind of get started and kind of slowly work my wife and a few glasses of wine into what I really want to spend down the road.
Oh yeah. So we can break those payments up into bi-monthly payments, right? So we can cut them in half and they'll just come every 2 weeks instead of monthly. That's not a problem at all.
So what would I owe you today then to get started with the 30-minute plan?
So it's $8.49 divided by 2, so $4.25 today, and then 2 weeks, and then every 2 weeks it'll be $4.25.
Okay, that's okay. That, you know what, dude, I can do that today, and that's below my threshold of what I can spend without having to talk to her. So at least I can get started with that, and at the worst case scenario, I mean, at least I'll stay there, and then I can figure it out down the road. But at least this gets me started. So okay, yeah, here. I mean,
all right, perfect. Can I have your credit card number and then bam? All right. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Rob sort of played that to a T. I didn't know where Rob was going. I didn't know if he was gonna. At first, when he said, "I can't talk to my wife," I'm like, he's gonna make me work this thing all the way down. But I was ready to work him down. And when I say work him down, like I was gonna take him from the 60-minute session, which is my Ferrari, down to the 30-minute sessions. And then if that didn't work, if he couldn't make a decision today, I was going to get him down to the group model. I was going to get him to commit to something today. And then when he talked to his wife tonight over the wine, like he can easily text me back and say, oh, hey, I can actually do the personal training. But I wasn't going to let him leave without making a decision, especially when he told me, when he said, oh, I wasn't I wasn't planning on spending more than $200 or $300, but after hearing you talk, it was $600 or $700. Well, I know he's willing to spend something, right? And once he told me that, I know worst case scenario, he was gonna be in a group membership before he left that day.
And that's it, Mimi, right? I think the best thing that Sherman did in that example, it was exactly what I think you did with that customer, right? And it's, well, what were you looking to spend today? Or what was your budget? What's in your price range? Because once exactly what Sherman was telling you he did, once I put a number out, he already knew at the very least I was going to walk with a group fitness membership, right? And so where he was going to go in that example, I know exactly where you're going to go in that example, Sherman, is that if we got all the way down to the group fitness and I said, I had to talk to my wife or whatever, he was going to politely call bullshit by saying, hey, Rob, you just told me that you had budgeted $200 today and that you also told me that you didn't have to talk to your wife about that because you already agreed to that. So here I am and sitting in front of you, giving you what putting something in your price range. What else is there to think about? Right. And honestly, if you pull yourself back from that whole interaction, all he was doing was coaching me. He was asking me questions and letting me walk myself into making and taking action. Because at some point in your interaction with a client who has objections, at some point you're going to overcome everything they say, because buyers are liars. They're not always going to tell you, right? I say this in my spousal objection SOP that I gave you guys. I got to talk to my spouse is the calling out of work version of explosive diarrhea. Nobody's going to question it, right? If I tell you that I have talked to my wife, you're not going to call bullshit and say, no, you don't. Of course, you're not going to say that to me, right? Especially if we're perfect strangers. Okay. Yep. If you know me, you know I do have to talk to my wife. That is 100% true. But I fear my wife. But if you a healthy fear, as we all should. I have but it's the art of just continuing to ask the questions and continuing to politely overcome those till you get to a point where you basically get to look at them in the face and essentially say, not actually say, but the looks and the body language tells it all. So you're full of shit, or are we going to do something here today? Right? Because that's really what it boils down to. Are they really telling you what's going on? It's just like when you're coaching a snatch. Are they really telling you what their objection is? Why won't you grab that barbell and go through these progressions? What are you really afraid of? Right? And if you can coach them and get to the real reason, you can either A, overcome the objection, or B, at least walk away from the interaction knowing that that person's not going to be a good fit. So you don't waste what a lot of people do. And I see them waste time and emotions on following. Oh my God, I keep following up on this guy. Oh, he came in. Oh, he's great. I talk to you guys all the time. Rob, I had two good appointments yesterday. Cool. What did they sign up for? Oh, they're going to come back tomorrow. No, they're not. No, they're not. All right, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Tell me if they signed up. Guess what happens in 2 weeks when I get back on that call? They didn't sign up. They ghosted me. Yeah, I don't care how great your interaction is, right? They're either going to take action today or they're going to walk and they're not going to come back. 9 out of 10 times. Hell, 19 out of 20. Okay. So I think that's kind of the whole point of today, right, Sherman? Was like, don't be afraid to be urgent and to have urgency in signing people up on the spot. And don't be afraid to overcome objections by asking questions, taking information, overcoming and coaching them through what they're telling you, and then getting them to a place where eventually, once we've talked ourselves through this whole pipeline, it's either action or inaction. And at least you can walk away with a new member, or knowing that I can just put that person in the long-term lead nurture, or they were not a good fit, or refer them to Leo down the street who's a jerk, and hope that they harass him for discounted personal training at $40 an hour. Maybe he'll show up.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You don't want to, I used to harp on my coaches. We want to answer today, right? Preferably, yes, of course. But even if the answer is no, we want it that day because now we don't have to waste time, for lack of a better term, on this person that isn't going to join anyway. Like Rob said, I used to hate hearing, "Oh, I'm going to follow." They're gonna go home and bathe their cat, and then I have to call them back tomorrow. No, no, like we want a decision today, preferably yes, but even if it's no, at least if we get a no, okay, they're gonna go into the long-term nurture campaign, and I'm moving on to the next person. But when you have those people out there on the maybes, now you're still thinking in the back of your mind, oh, I need to follow up with them again. Then they don't answer. Oh, I need to follow up. You're like, oh, I followed up 18,000 times. They just won't respond. Yeah, they're not going to join anyway, right? But you have to do the follow up because the fortune is in the follow up, right? That's part of it, right? Like everyone talks about the follow up like it's this bad thing, but the fortune is in the follow up, right? I personally made a lot of money in my gym by following up with people time after time after. I can't tell you how many people would sort of joke at my gym. They're like, I'm here because Sherman, back when I was doing a lot in my gym, people like Sherman, he followed up like every month for like a year. So I finally just said, I got to give it a try. But I'm glad I did. And that's the thing. Like I would go in, I would set up emails and text messages for like 6 months at a time, right? They're gonna go out to this person automatically. And eventually I would get them, right? Like eventually you're gonna get them. Unless they reply stop, then they won't get your text anymore. But for the most part, the fortune is in the follow-up, guys. You have to be willing to follow up. The lead isn't bad because they don't respond to everything in the beginning. The fortune is in the follow-up. So after you get through the objections, and if you just can't get them, a yes or a no, if you just can't get one, okay, now you have to sort of remember, okay, the fortune's in the follow-up, so I got to see this through, right? But while they're in front of us, we're trying to get a hard yes or a hard no. You know, that's what we want from them. What questions do you guys have? Because we sort of run out of time. We like to leave a little time for Q&A.
Got 9 minutes.
Yep. What question do you guys have?
Come on, guys. Gotta have something good.
I don't actually have a question, but I have a story.
Go for it.
So a couple of weeks ago, we were looking for a new vehicle as well. And I was looking at Jeeps, and Jeep.com had 13% off of all the 2023s. So we started looking at different dealerships, and one of them advertised they were offering that percentage, and two other ones didn't. And I liked the colors of the one of the other places, so I had messaged them to see if they would offer that 13%, and they wouldn't tell me yes or no, but they wanted me to come down so we could talk about it. And for me, I was like, that's an hour and 15 minutes away, and I wasn't going to do that without a guarantee of that 13%. And it was a significant amount of money at that point. So when you don't put that information out on your website, and I'm talking to somebody trying to get them in, like for our gym, what is like the best way to kind of get them in without doing that salesy type thing? You know what I mean? I had already made the decision not to go in because it was not worth my time to maybe get a discount, although it would have been a significant discount. Where the other place was like, definitely had it. It wasn't the color I wanted, but it was there and it was closer to me.
Got you.
So when you have somebody, you know, they're asking how much it costs to come into the gym, how do I get around kind of like making it attractive for them to come see me in that respect? You know what I mean?
Interesting. How to make it more attractive. That's a good thought. You know, I've heard of a lot of different practices from some gyms. I'm sure Sherman has, and maybe Amy as well. Folks like incentivizing a trip down, like, hey, you know, come on down, you know, for your no sweat intro, and we'll give you a free class for coming down, or a plastic water bottle, right, or something for your trip. But I mean, ultimately, that's also on, what are you willing to invest to incentivize that, right? Sometimes just the, hey, if you're somebody who's willing to take action, come down and take an opportunity to come hear me out. Let's get some information. Let's hear you out. Let me provide you with my professional expertise and give you a plan. And if it doesn't work, I'll refer you to 2 or 3 people that could help, right? It could be something as simple as that. Or one of the things I do, I don't know if you're a push press user, an HSN user, but one of the things HSN came out with was this really great beginner's guide to meal prepping. And I give that free to everybody for coming down to do an NSI. I even put it like, hey, come on down. I'm going to give you a free, thanks for coming. Here's a free, beginner's guide to meal prep. Just giving them, it's digital collateral. It costs me nothing, but hey, maybe something like that, or a beginner's exercise guide, or something like that you could put together and maybe say, hey, if we're coming in today, I'll give you something, right? That goes back to also what we were talking about previously about being a resource in your community and giving your best away for free.
Yeah. I have given out stickers
Yeah.
so that they could put it on their water bottle and still remember us, even
I
if they
love
don't
that.
sign up. So
I've done in the past, I've done stickers. Actually, if you could see mine, that's my sticker, and it's got a QR
gotta
code
go
on
back.
it. Yeah, it's got like a little QR code on it.
Yep.
And if you scan that QR code, it links to our No Sweat Intro calendar. So it's like, here, come meet us. So give it to people, and then hopefully somebody scans the QR code.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think maybe specifically, push come to shove, like you can give someone a price range, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like that's like the last, but you can't give them an exact price. Just like if you're buying the car, they can't give you exact price until they sit down and play the game, the song and dance. Like they can't give you the final number you're gonna see. So I think, if someone's really trying to get the price, they won't let it go. You just give them a price range. Hey, the price is going to be between this. This is the best I can do. Can you come in? If they say yes, great. If they say no, it's fine. They probably weren't going to sign up anyway. Chad said that he just bought a used car last week and it was an excellent experience. So I'm actually I know where I'm going to buy a car from as well. And I walked in, I was like, listen, I could tell the guy was kind of young. I was like, listen, man, I've been selling stuff for a long time. Whatever they told you, they probably told you wrong. I am going to buy a car. I don't know if I'm going to buy it from you yet. I have 2 other dealerships I have to go to. But if I come back, I'm going to buy a car from you and I'm going to beat you up on the price. So you don't have to work hard at the sale. The sale isn't up to you. It's up to me. It was a young guy. You can see he was looking like, this dude is crazy. But I end up going back to him. He was like, oh, I'm glad you're coming back. I was like, now remember, this is phase 2. Now I'm going to beat you up on this new car. I need the best price possible. You're like, okay, I'm going to see what I can do. I'm excited to help this kid learn, but I am going to beat him up, Rob. I'm going to beat him up good on the price. I'm going to make it work.
As you should. As you should.
Y'all are too mean, man. I walked in on this kid. He was like in his 20s. And he was like, what do you want for your car? I told him. And I said, I heard you can come down a little bit on the price. He said, yep. He's like, how about this number? And I was like, let's sign it. It was done in like 5 minutes. It was so easy.
Oh no, Chad. I gotta beat him up just because I like the fight. Like I just like the process.
That's what I'm saying, man. I hate, dude, being on the other side of it. I was like, let's just get over it. I'm not even going to refer you to him, Sherm, man. I'm going to be like, don't even talk to this guy.
Oh man. Oh, that's good. But yeah, so does anyone have any other questions before we get out of here?
No questions.
So Rob, I wrote down all of your I'll call them bridging questions that you used when you need to push back. And I think if people make themselves just get comfortable with 1 or 2 of those questions and make themselves ask one when someone's like, oh, I got to think about it, or I need to go home and talk to my wife. I think that would be huge if they just make themselves ask one of those.
Yeah, I think what do you think, Sherman?
So I think that's fine, right? To start off, right? Like, so when you're starting off, I used to have, when I heard something, this is what I'm going to say back. Just because I was new, I'm still sort of nervous. So it's okay to give them something to start off with, but you need to be clear that, hey, this is just to get you started, because eventually, like, they're going to know like how to respond. So like for new salespeople, they're inexperienced green, I don't have an issue with them sort of having sort of answers to the test, right? Even though it may not be the best answer, at least they have an answer rather than just freezing up, right? And just saying like not knowing what to say. So like I'm okay with it for newer people for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the people who are always like, okay, here's our prices. I'll follow up tomorrow. Like that.
Yeah.
Newer people. Yeah.
Hmm. So if somebody says, okay, so is the ask like the people who are like shoppers? Like, oh, like, do you have something? Do you have something that, like, to write down or something that I could like take with me? Was that kind of the question?
Yeah, like what do you say to that person?
Oh,
I know.
actually, so funny you should say that, because as we are sitting here live, my person who's sitting in the seat while I'm gone, I just saw sent an email follow up to her NSI that was just happening with a list of all of our prices. And I'm literally sitting here lashing out at her because we don't do that. Essentially, exactly what Sherman said before is I would literally say, so you're just you're just shopping prices, or like when people say like, oh, hey, do you have a price sheet or something that I could write down and take with me? I'd be like, I'll literally just ask them, what is it that you need to remember? What can I help you with? Like, what is it specifically that you're looking for? So let me ask you that question. So Amy, sure, I don't have a price sheet. I don't keep these prices listed down anywhere else. Like this is I gave it to you, but I mean, what's holding you back from taking action today? Or what is it that you need to take with you? How can I
Oh,
help you?
I just have an appointment tomorrow with the other gym in town, so I wanted to have something to be able to compare.
Got it. Hey, listen, you know what? To be honest with you, if you're out shopping, I'll be honest with you. If what I shared with you today didn't resonate with you and you weren't ready to like take action today, I don't know if we're going to be a good fit for you long term. If you're shopping around, you're going to find that we're going to be the most expensive and the most demanding gym. So if that's what you're looking for and you're looking for success and results, let's get you started today. But if you're looking for the lowest price or the lowest level of accountability, then I'm sure that the next gym that you go to, you're going to purchase. So there's really no reason for us to write down those prices for you, right?
I like that.
How'd you like that, right?
Yeah, I like
Listen,
that a lot.
I want to position myself, not outwardly. There's actually a gym in my community who like he does this whole social media thing. I sent it to Blake once and it's like, we're not the cheapest gym in town. And it's kind of douchey. I don't like it. And it doesn't resonate with me at all. I don't want to outwardly do that. But when you come and sit down in my gym and you're a shopper, well, I'm just shopping around. Be like, well, you found yourself at the most expensive, highest accountability, highest results gym that you are looking for. Is that what you're looking for? Because if so, let's get you started. And if we're a little out of your budget, like let's continue the conversation of how we can work on something for you and get you where you need to be. If you're looking for the cheapest or the most budget friendly, or the loosest level of accountability, we're definitely not going to be for you. So thanks for coming in. I'm sure you're going to join that other gym. Can I ask what that other gym is? Yeah, stuff like that. Will that work once, twice in a blue moon? Sure, that will work. But it'll also save you some time and energy. Like as soon as we get off this call and I finish with Tom, who I'm going to jump in with next, is I'm going to write her how she just wasted 10 minutes of her time sending a compendium of an email listing our prices out. And to add extra fuel to the fire, she told me, I asked her, I said, why are we doing this? And what's going on? She's looking around. She already works out with her husband, who's also a personal trainer. Well, great. Thanks for sharing all of our pricing with them. And yeah, really?
No. That was great. I love that answer.
Yeah, don't waste your time. Sherman's not going to waste his time. I'm not going to waste my time. You're not going to waste your time. I'm not going to write you dude, I don't know how long she spent writing this email, but it's literally everything. Thanks so much for listing our prices and giving them to somebody. I'm angry. Anyway. All right, I'm going to jump. Tom and I are going to jump. Tom, we're going to jump into our private combo. You and I have stuff to do. I know you guys got stuff to do. Sherman already jumped out. So guys, I appreciate this. Thank you guys so much for taking the time. Iron sharpens iron, man. Keep bringing your questions, keep bringing your stuff to these conferences. They're really important. The better we get together, the better we get as an industry. If we all do talk and say the same things, you know what's going to happen? We can change the way our customers interact with us. And one day my hope is that people will stop showing up, telling us how they want it, when they want it, and how much it should cost, and start showing up wanting to be helped. And then we can tell them what it's going to take, how long it's going to take, and how much it's going to cost. And they're going to say, okay, here you go. All right, guys, have a good
Thanks,
one.
Rob. It's awesome.
Chat soon. Bye-bye, guys.